And we kick it off with funding the border wall. The Pentagon transferring $1 billion for 57 miles of wall along the U.S.-Mexico border. This is a show of direct support. President Trump's national emergency declaration. Here's what the president said and told me last week about the importance of that wall.
We're building a lot of wall right now. You know that. We're building the wall, and it's going up fast, big, strong, looks good, not the horrible thing that they were building before I got here. We're building the wall now. We're going to have a lot of wall built pretty soon. But if you don't have that, you can't have border security.
And joining me right now is Washington Examiner editorial director Hugo Gurdon. Hugo, it is good to see you this morning. Were you surprised by this money, $1 billion being transferred now last night?
Not really a surprise. I mean, we know that there's about $8 billion that has been kind of, the wrong word perhaps is earmarked, but nevertheless identified, that can be transferred. Three-quarters of it from the Pentagon budget and another couple of billion from the drug interdiction budget. So what this first $1 billion will do is build apparently 57 miles of wall, and it's in the Yuma and El Paso area, and that is said to be cutting off several areas of sort of drug corridors into the country. And so, no, I'm not surprised. It's very interesting to see it happening quickly, and particularly happening on the eve before the defense secretary goes up to testify on Capitol Hill.
Yeah, and isn't it interesting that while this is happening, we've got another new migrant caravan. Reuters this morning is reporting that another caravan of about 1,200 people from Central America and Cuba headed toward the U.S. border this morning. Your reaction, Hugo?
Yeah, you know, I think that this is one of those things which gets to the idea that whether or not you believe that there is an emergency at the border, and whether the president was correct to declare an emergency, there is a crisis at the border. There is the immigration system and the border itself has broken down. It doesn't work anymore, and the president is right when he says that if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. That's what defines the country. So we know that there's a big problem. There's another caravan, and there've been other ones before, and some of the members of those caravan, just as predicted and just as denied by those who want to oppose the border wall, they tried to rush the border. Several of them did so. There's another caravan coming, and unless we make the border strong, more will come afterwards.
Yeah, which is what the president has been saying. The policies, though, are changing there. Recent reports show that some migrant families are being released. Instead of being detained, they're being released because of the overcrowded situation and safety concerns. They would then have to show up later for further processing. But, Hugo, you know what happens. They get released, and then they never show up for processing or a trial.
Yeah, lots of them don't show up. Obviously, some do. Yeah. But the more that come, the more pressure there is, because, as you say, people are being released because the facilities are not, you know, substantial enough to house them. Therefore, the authorities can't contain them. They then have to release them. They're into the country, and then they join the other 12 million illegal immigrants in the United States. Yeah. That's why there's a crisis.
Hugo, let me switch gears and ask you about the fallout from the Mueller report. Now that we know what our audience has been hearing on this program now for 2 years, that there was no collusion and the media got it massively, wildly wrong. Good op-ed today in the Journal from James Freeman, our friend James Freeman writes, Mueller and the Obama accounting. And he says the Mueller report confirms the Obama administration, without evidence, turned the surveillance powers of the federal government against the presidential campaign of the party out of power. How far up the ladder do you think this goes in terms of Obama calling the shots to spy on the Trump campaign?
You know, that is something that has to be found out. There has been an extraordinary scandal here. For the past 2 years, efforts have been made to undermine the elected president of the United States. That began back in President Obama's time. You know, I think it goes pretty high. I mean, there were people like Susan Rice who, you know, helped release the names of people into the media. There was, you know, James Comey, you know, warned the president after he was in the White House that the dossier was out there, and then somehow or other, just 4 days later, that was all over the press as well. And now that the fake collusion narrative has been dispensed with. Now that that has been swept aside, there's a really important job here to look in whether or not the narrative that was fostered was deliberate or how much of it was a screw-up.
Yeah.
If it was deliberate, there were officials there who need to be made to answer for this.
Right, let's not forget Loretta Lynch, who had her little meeting with Bill Clinton just a few days before Hillary was to speak with the FBI. Hugo, we're going to be on it as we have been. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
See you soon. Hugo Gurdon joining us there.